Alright, Sony. We all know this brand is kind of say, having a small market and providing some of the best technology in a possible bracket. And that possible bracket is kind of expensive here. They have a really huge market of their products, or you can say their stuff which they releases from audio to video. Video means basically the cameras, there are their smartphones, there are their TVs, and also the gaming peripherals. Also, they have trying to get into more into gaming with that some of the key features of the which key products of the gaming apart from the PlayStation, which is kind of say nice, and also the virtual reality headset. That's completely different. Basically, they that come under the PlayStation, but that's something cool which we all admire. But many few of the people don't know a really important factor of the basic technology, which is the smartphone. We all know that the Sony smartphones are basically known for the cameras and basically the displays and some of the high-end specification which they provide at that price point. And kind of say we basically don't know a lot about this. Over a last few couple of months, or you can say years, the Sony's market capture is kind of shrinking and shrinking to a normal end, and we don't want any other brand to get down into the market. LG was also the innovative. They were producing some of the good looking factors such as so LG's Wing and LG Phantoms, and a lot of different sectors of their smartphones were really top notch, and still their software support and news still comes into our hand. This kind of say really most of the companies they don't give. But giving aside the LG, the Sony is going to be next LG in the smartphone factor, because their smartphones are really expensive too, and also it comes under really few price point, and really few people know a lot about the Sony smartphones. We're going to talk about what is going on and why this brand needs more attention than the Apple Fusion Pro, or you can say any other thing coming from the Samsung's flip side or fold side. But this guys needs a big major attention. This is Captain DRS, you are watching Keras and DRS, and let's get started. Innovations. So basically, if I do have to some of the innovations that the Sony has provided from the TV, they have a really good impression of the displays. Keeping aside the Samsung, the Sony is one of the big major brand who gives one of the good quality displays, and also the audio support of the Sonys are really good. If you give a look a bit of onto their headphone side on the TWS2, they are really good, but the price bracket are also really good for those. It is basically expensive side, but if you are already onto the content creating side, then if you have even a single tip of the Sony the headphones or TWS, then you know how good they are. But yeah, that's a kind of say many brands are there in the competition, you might be thinking. But one of the keyest thing which none of the brand is providing at this at many of the major level, which is the Sony's IMX sensors. Basically cameras, right? There are the some of the key highlighting features are the basically the cameras, and Sony has done a tremendous job presenting their camera. The legacy of innovation of the Sony is really tremendous. From a Walkman to the PlayStation, a lot of key feature of their key factors of their brand are really tremendous. They have done a given a really good history in the past, which we can talk a bit of more about it, but not today. In a separate video, if this video gets a lot of likes and a lot of support from you all, that's what we need. But the innovation are completely separate and kind of twisted in a lot of sectors. Sony is known for its basic nowadays for its camera. If we heard the Sony's IMX sensor is there on this guy of the any other smartphone, then we mostly get attracted with that factor. Another thing that the Sony is basically known for is the display. If you have taken even a single look at the Sony's TVs, then you know how good they are. And on a factor of the price points, there are $1,500 phones. This Sony's phones are really expensive. They also come at a budget sector with their different colors and kind of say like a normal and iPhone 14, and they have the Sony's Xperia something Mark 5 series basically. Yeah, they should. We gonna talk to that in a bit, but yeah, the innovation of the smartphone is really good. and still over that price point you don't get a headphone jack. That was I'm talking about, but the colors twisted me. So at that price point, Apple is there, Samsung is there. Even if you talk about the Google, there isn't any big brands who are providing a headphone jack in the latest and the greatest sector, except the Sony. Sony's Xperia phones, no matter what, they come with the headphone jack too. And not a normal headphone jack, it is kind of tuned with their, some of the good audio quality too. You might be thinking you are only talking about the TVs and the audio and smartphone. That's something which every other user is having, and the Sony is having an expensive side. Not only that, they have a really diverse range of the products. Keeping aside the PlayStation, the VR headset, and every other thing, the innovation on the other hand goes beyond the things which we know. Gaming is kind of growing at a big level. Their sub brand is also on the work which makes the displays for the gaming headset itself, which is the PlayStation 5, and also there is the audio quality support and a lot of things are there. PlayStation is basically known for its high-end and hardcore quality gameplays it can support and what it can deliver at really crucial factor, and it can go up to the 8K streams too, but there are very few of the games out there who support for 8K, which is completely different. In future we might be able to see, so it is beyond the future, and the imagination of the Sony is really different for the Sony PlayStation. Yes, compare it directly to their competition, which I believe that every other brand's competition is likewise this brand's, Samsung and Apple. Firstly, the Apple. Basically, Apple has a really close ecosystem from their Mac to audio products, from their home products, and their smartphones, and their head tracking products, and some of the key factors which their smartphones are having. Apple is having its own way of talking, which is completely different. But some of the visuals which I believe that every brand should have, the Apple is missing out, and many of the factors that this thing might not be coming onto the Apple side, because that might create a big competition and a big importance from their side to give to the TV side, because TV needs a lot of attention to details and stuff. But Apple is known for giving a lot of things which is completely different. And if you take a look at the iPhone and any other smartphone, it's completely different. And Apple don't consider iPhone as a smartphone too, because smartphones are completely different. The iPhones are above that smartphone tier. So it's Apple way of talking, and TV might be not coming from the Apple side too in the future, but the Sony has one, and the Sony has really good support for that TV side, and that TV audios and the really good support is there for that guys too. And if you take a look at the audio side, the Apple is basically on the crucial market point where Sony is basically known for its content creators and stuff which is there. Then you might be thinking, if you are talking about the TVs, then the Samsung is already there who makes a really good TVs, and also they provide display to a lot of brands. See, keeping aside the Samsung and the Sony's competition from their display side, but still over a lot of sectors of the Sony, they win a really good win over the display viewing angles. If you compare it with that flagships, it's completely different story. But if you take a look at the smartphone side, it's again a completely different story. That smartphones, basically the Sony smartphones, come with the 4K display from a really long time. And Samsung is nowadays giving a QHD plus display on their Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and that doesn't come pre-active. You have to go into the settings and displays and you have to activate from that. But the Sony basically comes with the 4K active ready, and what other things are there for the 4K guy. If you're talking about the display from the Samsung, then you might be thinking in a lot of sectors Samsung has really good manufacturing units of the displays. In a lot of countries, Samsung is there for their support and also other things. But that's a kind of a turning point over the display side. See, Sony has a really good minority factor or really small amount of the workers, which directly makes a lot of gums out of their hands and make us some of the coolest stuff out of it. And we definitely see some of the updates and some of the updates and upgrades over that Sony based TVs. Basically we can carry also the displays, so, but they don't come a lot onto the smartphones, because Sony needs their own layer of the optimization. As for me, Samsung is there who have given a lot of brands their other products and other utilities, so they can optimize in their own way. Samsung is completely different to compare it with the Sony, but in a lot of sense, Sony might take a winning chance over there, and because they are also into the gaming, and gaming support, very few of the brands are there who have really wide variety of the ecosystem. You know what I'm trying to get. Not even the Apple, not even the Samsung. Apple tried in the past to come into the console market, but they didn't try to sell their stuff, and no, they decided not to come again. And you might be thinking why Sony is having a problems and stuff. If their support and each and everything, not a support giving aside to that thing, each and everything is really really good. See, Sony Xperia phones announced at a really good manner. Events and everything happens at the proper timing which they have given. But the products basically come after 1, 2, 3, or even 4 months beyond. The product's availability is not there, which is kind of a really bad point. As if you talk about the flagships, the flagships have a really good prestige into the market, such as the iPhone 14 Pro Max, which even goes around a month and it is available into the stores and people are crazy about it. And Apple gives a really good hype and the manner of their smartphones, presenting them, and marketing is a really good key factor where selling a product. And Sony has a really small amount of the selected markets only, such as America is there, and some of the key factors around of it, and even in Tokyo, Japan, and stuff like that. So they should target some of the big amount of the wear at a really crucial point of the price point. If you give around a 1500 price point, $1,500 price point to your smartphone, and there is an option for a good quality, another good quality smartphone, which is the iPhone 14 Pro Max, people might be going ahead and picking that iPhone 14 Pro Max instead of yours, because at that price point the design and the quality and some of the things which people look for are completely different. If Sony, in future that flagships cut up some of the edge points and trying to bring down the price points, such as removing the 4K display, which I believe that very few people are there who know, as if I know that the Sony is giving the 4K display, and that three different cameras which are completely professional. People don't know a lot about the Sony cameras, so they should optimize them and make a single camera based icon, and try to convey that good quality label, because if you have used a manual or auto shoot cameras, then they are completely different than a normal quality smartphone. So they should try to convey in that way and try to optimize in that way. In a lot of sense, their support is really really fewly available countries, and Sony has left India, which is, as for me, a really big market of smartphones, as if it is growing at a really big number. And if the population of the country is too much, then not a too much, a very big amount, then companies should basically enter in that market, because it is really good. If a single one is using it, will be a trying to go into a really really big number. When Sony was there, the smartphones were coming, but they were having ups and downs and cutoffs and stuff like that, and kind of expenses added to, so that people mostly don't go into those smartphones. As if they should give a two main, or you can say the major focus, as if I know which I am talking. Basically, the quality of the smartphones needed to be improvised in a really big number, as if it is really good. I'm talking about the Sony's Xperia Pro 1, or you can see the Mark, that flagship series. Pro 2 is coming and people are crazy about it, as if it will be having a dual cameras and it might be coming into the revolutionary. And if Sony trying to convey that flagship into a small amount of the price point, then it is really good. That budget smartphones aren't trying to catch you up into the market, as if their flagship are attention grabbing, but their price point isn't very attention grabbing, and their availability is also not an attention grabbing. The sustainability might be a key point which I won't be talking about, but sustainability is needed, and also the longevity of the flagship should be there. Sony support side is okay of the software side, not the best, as if you compare to the kind of under that price point, the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, which is available. So Sony should work on it. Also with the iPhones, or you can say the Pixels are out here. So yeah, Sony should work on those factors. But as of their complete, really few workers are there who work on the beyond of this guy, and they can't push a lot of into the R&D as if they have a lot of products out there which have a really good number of market too, such as that Walkman is there, which is expensive side, but people are still crazy about it. That PlayStation is there, the TVs is there, or audio products is there, and a lot of different type of sector is there. Even their Sony's IMX sensors are there, their actual action shooter cameras, or you can say the cameras are there, are crazily known for its quality and the stuff which it provides.